Hi, and welcome back to Environmental News, the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we break down the biggest stories in zero waste, circular economy, recycling, food waste reduction, and composting. This week's episode looks at a major new food waste report, a Texas composting law that complicates organics diversion, and the growing question of whether AI is helping us prevent waste or just manage it more efficiently. I'm Stacy Savage, aka the Texas Trash Talker, founder and CEO of Zero Waste Strategies. We're an environmental consulting firm right here in Austin, Texas, where we help businesses reduce waste to save money, empower their employees, and drive a green marketing edge. The good story this week is ReFed's new report, The Food Operating System, how AI is being deployed across the food system to reduce waste. This was released on July 5th of 2026. The report draws from more than 40 interviews with industry leaders, technology developers, operators, and solution providers, along with peer-reviewed research, case studies, and pilot program data. It examines how AI is being used across the food system to reduce waste, where it's producing measurable results, and where its impact is still constrained. Food waste is one of the clearest places where better data can save money, reduce emissions, and improve operations. ReFed says the report is meant to help businesses, governments, funders, and nonprofits work toward reducing U.S. food waste by 50% by 2030. That's a huge goal, but this is the kind of target that forces real accountability around prevention, forecasting, surplus management, and recovery. The highlight of this story is that it treats food waste reduction as an operating system problem, not just a disposal problem. AI is being used to improve demand forecasting, inventory management, prep planning, and waste tracking, which means fewer ingredients are overordered and fewer meals are being thrown away. The potential benefits are significant: lower costs for operators, less landfill disposal, lower emissions, and better use of food that is already grown and transported. But there's still a caution here. If AI is only used to optimize disposal rather than prevent waste upstream, then the food system may become more efficient without becoming any smaller. So the real win is not smart trash, it's fewer leftovers, fewer spoilage losses, and better decision making before waste even happens. Now on to the bad. Texas Senate Bill 2078, which took effect on September 1st, 2025. And it's still very relevant now because it directly affects how food waste can move through composting systems. The law prohibits food waste collected under a municipal commercial food waste composting ordinance from being deposited at a composting facility in a county that does not have such an ordinance, unless the county approves it or the facility was already authorized and taking that material before January 1st of 2025. It also authorizes a civil penalty of $1,000 per violation. Composting infrastructure depends on practical routing. If food waste can't move efficiently to the nearest appropriate facility, then hauling costs rise, emissions rise, and the whole system becomes harder to scale. In a state as large as Texas, access to composting sites is the difference between a workable diversion program and one that gets stuck in logistics. Supporters will say this is about county control and local oversight. That may be true, but the effect is still a barrier for cities, haulers, and businesses trying to build or expand organics diversion. It especially creates tension between places generating food waste under city composting requirements and the rural counties or facilities to process it. The impact is easy to see here. Urban generators lose flexibility. Composting businesses lose potential feedstock, and the state risks making its own organics diversion goals harder to reach. In a zero waste framework, policy should make the pathway for diversion easier, not more fragmented. And finally, the ugly story is the bigger industry trend behind the good news. AI and other advanced tools can help reduce food waste, but they can also become shiny distractions if the focus stays on efficiency rather than prevention. Again, ReFed's report shows AI is being used across food systems, and other recent coverage highlights AI sensors and inventory tools are helping food businesses improve forecasting. And other recent coverage highlights AI sensors and inventory tools helping food businesses improve forecasting, spoilage detection, and waste tracking. That sounds positive, but there's a risk that companies would celebrate better measurement while continuing to overproduce food, rely on donation or disposal as a fallback, or invest in technology only where there's a clear return on investment. When that happens, the businesses with the resources to adopt AI get better margins, while smaller operators and community-based systems are left with the same old waste challenges. We also have to be honest about access. Many of these tools are being adopted by large retailers, food service chains, and operators with enough volume to justify the expense. That means the benefits may not reach schools, independent restaurants, small grocers, or community kitchens unless those tools are designed and priced for broader use. This is why the ugly part is not the technology itself, it's the possibility that we use innovation to make waste management prettier instead of making waste generation smaller. The best outcome is when AI helps prevent waste at the source, supports better donation timing, reduces spoilage, and makes inventory smarter. The weaker outcome here is when AI simply helps us track more waste more accurately after the fact. So this week, the story is really about choices. ReFed's new report shows that AI can be a powerful tool for reducing food waste when it's used to improve decisions before waste happens. Texas Senate Bill 2078 shows how a single policy can make composting harder to scale, even when communities are trying to do the right thing. And the broader AI trend reminds us that technology only moves us forward when it supports prevention, access, and real systems change. If we want cleaner communities, better business outcomes, and less landfill waste, we need more than clever tools. We need policies that support composting access, funding that strengthens recovery infrastructure, and technologies that help people waste less in the first place. That is how we move from managing the mess to changing the system. I'm Stacy Savage, founder and CEO of Zero Waste Strategies. This has been Environmental News, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See you next week. Bye.